Waste. It's the things we don't need anymore, what we casually throw away in the bin and don't give a second thought about. But for thousands of unemployed South Africans who eke out an existence by selling recyclable materials that they find in bins and on landfills, it provides a sometimes unpleasant means of survival.
Sometimes you find something inside of dustbin, like people say pregnant. Take that child, that small child, you put it inside the dustbin. When you open the dustbin, you found it, you look at those things, you found these things. Oh, that is a child. Found that child and he's dead, he's died. And that smell, when you smell there, you get bad, sick.
More than 90% of South Africa's waste is dumped in landfills every year. It's environmentally damaging and unsustainable. But this waste also supports an estimated 70,000 people across the country. So how does South Africa reduce the amount of waste that ends up in landfills without jeopardizing the livelihoods of the people who survive off them? Simon Mbata turned to waste picking 18 years ago out of desperation.
I was unemployed and I have to come up with alternatives for my family, to provide for the family. So I end up going to the landfill, picking waste. It's about how fast and how hard you work that you can start accumulating. I used to select days to say, okay, let me go and look for the formal job on these days. But on these days, I have to survive and have to make a living.
What started out as a part-time means to make money has turned into Simon's profession and passion. He's the founder of the South African Waste Pickers Association, an organization he started 6 years ago to represent the needs of the thousands of people who earn a living through waste.
The number is growing monthly because now people are realizing that the job sector it's full and there are no more jobs. People have to come up with alternatives of making a living. It makes easy because the entry point is just to go to the collection point. You collect and accumulate and sell. There's no qualification needed to say you have to submit your CV. For many people, it becomes easy and you make money on a daily basis.
With unemployment rates estimated at around 25%, this informal industry helps to support many people who live well below the poverty line. But it's also a reflection of South Africa's poorly managed waste, an issue that experts believe has to be addressed despite this.
I think the most important thing always to remember is that we cannot continue to generate waste just because it creates jobs. And we see this, for example, in South Africa with litter. We see people littering on the sidewalks and the streets, and when you ask them why they're doing it, they say because it creates jobs. I mean, that's insane behavior to be littering or to be generating waste because it produces jobs. If we've done everything that we possibly can to prevent waste from being generated in the first place, then yes, absolutely. Let's look at the economic opportunities that it provides.
Professor Linda Godfrey is a researcher with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, or CSIR, and has worked in the field of waste research for 17 years. She believes that there are strong economic reasons for the country to manage its waste better.
First of all, we should prevent waste from being generated. Secondly, we should look for opportunities for waste reuse, then recycling, recover materials from it or energy from it, and then really as a last resort to landfill it. And that was largely driven by the fact that in many developed countries, they were running out of space for landfills. In South Africa, we do have municipalities who are running out of airspace, particularly the big metros, but some of them still have 100 years or in excess of landfill airspace. And so then the question is, well, why should we do something else other than landfill? And that brought us to the point of saying, well, does it make sense for us, in terms of the material cycle, to be, say, for example, mining oil in the Middle East, shipping it halfway across the world to make plastic, to make a bottle, to put cool drink or water in it, to consume that product, and then to throw that plastic away? Or the same with paper, to grow trees, to cut the trees down, to manufacture paper, to print something on it, realize I've printed the wrong thing, and then throw that piece of paper away.
Everything can be used and be recycled, and it can be turned into something. So one of the big challenge, we don't see value in waste, many people, because we forgot how waste was created by a mixture of many resources. But at the end of the day, we call those resources waste because we don't use them. There's no need for me for them. Then I put them on the waste stream. But at the end of the day, the waste stream consists of valuable recyclable materials.
Incredibly valuable, in fact. Recent research from the CSIR has valued the waste that South Africans throw out every year at £1.3 billion. Only 400 million of this is being recovered or recycled, a loss of around £900 million in resources annually. Bongani has experienced the value of waste firsthand. For him, waste picking is the family business. His mother used to work on the same landfill. He's able to earn £14 a day, which is more than minimum wage. Money that he's used to support his family, including putting his eldest daughter through 4 years of technical college. Next year, she'll graduate as a civil engineer.
That money used to send my kids at school. At bank, I don't have the money at bank, but I'm surprised to get that for the kids, as long as the kids get that education.
But the money comes at a huge cost. Landfills produce toxic greenhouse gases such as methane as the waste decomposes, and they can sometimes be a threat to groundwater sources through leaking pollutants. But worst of all, pose a serious threat to the health of the people who work on them.
If you think also in terms of what people throw away, there might be broken glass, there might be diabetics who are throwing needles into their general waste. We could have cuts, we could have needle stick injuries. There's also a risk in terms of condemned food or any animals that are disposed to the landfill site as well. And then waste does tend to attract things like rats, flies, to the site as well, which can also pose a health risk to people that are on the site.
Yes, there's many people sick here. When you can call some doctors to check all these people here, the majority is sick. No people it's all right with their life here.
But it's more than just the health risks that these landfills pose that have led some experts to believe that a new waste management system needs to be put in place.
Besides the health and the danger risks of actually scavenging on site, it results in a lower value of those materials. So if I take my paper, I throw it into the bin, it's been dirtied by a tea bag or other food waste, by the time it's collected off the landfill site, it's lost its value. So we want to move towards a process of curbside collection where you and I as consumers, we are forced to separate our waste at source. And then the question is, how do we integrate the informal sector into supporting that curbside collection program?
Simon is piloting a program that will do just that. Supported by the local municipality, him and a group of other waste pickers have started a recycling centre. People in the area are asked to separate their waste into 2 bins, one for recyclables and another for everything else. The recyclables are brought here instead of going to the landfill.
At any level of community or any level of an area, there can be centers like this that reduces waste that is to be sent to the landfill. And one good thing for waste pickers, you get them free. They provide this service for free. They've been doing it. We've been doing it for many years for free. So by integrating, it's just to provide better working conditions or provide that ground where we can operate better.
The pilot project has been operational for 7 months. Simon hopes that if they are able to make it a success, similar centres will be rolled out across the country. The problem, however, is that the success of projects like this hinge entirely on people at home separating their waste, a culture that is yet to have developed in South Africa.
Very often, we as generators of waste, we kind of pass responsibility on to others in terms of how waste is managed. And we always have to remember that we are essentially the root cause of all waste that is generated. And I think as consumers, we have to take responsibility for that. It's easy for me to put my wheelie bin out and then I forget about it. I don't know where it goes. Very few people actually have been to a landfill site to see what happens to the waste they generate.
It's hoped that by implementing curbside collection, less waste will be dumped in landfills every year, and waste pickers will continue to be able to earn a living in improved working conditions. But this could take years to put in place. For people like Opa, change can't come quick enough.
But nothing can I do. I'm supposed to continue. Because I eat with him. I get money with him. Every time I wake up, 5 o'clock. It's hard because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You can't say, let me forget about this, because you've got hands. You're supposed to work. And you work with yourself. It's better than nothing.